All right, I've been doing some framing in here. I'm doing rigid foam board insulation. I've got it pushed up against a rock wall, right about down here, about this high. It's actually right up against the rock. And at the top, because of the way these rock walls are made, I have a 9-inch gap. And down at the bottom, at the very bottom, I have a couple inches of gap. So what I did is I put the foam in dry, or I just loose fitted it. Then I started this framework. I did a little square off of there, even though this wall is not really perfectly straight, but it's the closest thing I have. So I did a square off of here and continued that on. And it does go here, and it's all level. Except for right here, this board angles up a bit after it attaches to the rafter. And there's probably a curve on the bottom of this rafter, which is angling that up. So this is going to have to get pulled down a bit if I can. It may not happen. My next plans is I'm going to put a clamp here at the edge and a clamp at the bottom. I can't get that angled right, but all right. I'm going to have a clamp at the top and bottom at the corner here. Hold it to this, and then I'm just going to do the spray foam in between, behind all these here to connect that. And it may push this in a bit, but that'll be fine because if anything the foam's pushing it's going to expand to fill that gap. And really, the only reason all I need is this foam to stay in place so that gaps don't form in the future. So as long as I get some sort of adherence to this frame, which isn't going anywhere, that's super solid. As long as I get some adherence to the frame, and then the foam itself is sealed, then I'm not going to have any air leak. Now right here, this is actually the worst part, and that's where it's tightest. And that's where the two pieces come together. So I'm going to have to really push that in as best I can to get some foam in there. I'm going to have to push it in, get the foam in, and I can release it. And then that portion of the wall is going to be done up to there. And then I can continue around, make the corner, and I may do something very similar on that flat piece first before I make the full corner. But otherwise, this wall is actually coming along. I was really worried because of how diverse the rock wall is. You can kind of see some of it here. So that rough, when it hits that 2x4, it's pretty straight. But this wall gets skinnier as it goes up, and it's not 9 inches on this side, but it is a pretty decent size gap that keeps growing. And if you compare it down to the bottom there, work your way up, you can definitely see the difference. And that's how this wall is. You've got the bulk of it is in the center, and it kind of rotates up, and it's just a matter of the rocks they used, how they built it over time. That's not really an issue. And also, it's been very dry. I've never had water come through that wall, so I'm not too concerned about that. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased. I'm going to do a bigger video of the build process. I'll point out I made some things here which are odd, but essentially, because I have to do each vertical piece one by one, 80 and a half, 80 and 3/8, 80 and 3/8, 80 and a quarter, and what I did is I put these top braces in where the line is, screwed it in place, brought this up, screwed it in sideways into that, kind of a what do they call it, a butt joint, all the way across. Then I used my level to make sure it was plumb up and down, and at the bottom once I got it plumb and marked, I put those in. I put these in. Can't see when I'm in selfie mode, but I put these in to do the same thing. Kept checking for plumb as I go. And then I made sure it was plumb this way, and I put a couple of Tapcons, and I'll probably put a Tapcon in every bay just for rigidity down the road, especially at that corner over there. Alright, this is John the Armchair Tech. Little quick in between video, and then I'll do more later as I'll do a bigger one later. I have a lot of footage.